All right, we're getting there. Let's see how close this thing can get. Now, it's still a little bit off in the voice, but let's ask it some questions.
Hi, I'm Chris Green. Have you had any more questions about the National Flood Insurance Program coverage, or would you rather switch it up today?
Yes, can you tell me how much building coverage the National Flood Insurance Program offers?
The National Flood Insurance Program offers up to $250,000 in building coverage for residential properties. This applies to single-family homes or properties with up to 4 units. If you're looking at a business property, the coverage can go up to $500,000. Keep in mind, though, that these limits might not be enough to fully cover your property, especially with rising costs. Have you considered whether you might need additional coverage beyond what the program offers?
I have not, but could you tell me what some different options there might be?
Sure. If the coverage limits of the National Flood Insurance Program don't meet your needs, you've got a couple of options. One is an excess flood insurance policy, which adds additional coverage on top of what the National Flood Insurance Program offers. Another option is private flood insurance, which can provide much higher coverage limits, sometimes up to $4 million, and often includes broader coverage like replacement costs for contents or additional living expenses if you're displaced. Have you looked into private flood insurance before?
I have not.
Private flood insurance could be a great option for you. Unlike the National Flood Insurance Program, private policies can offer much higher coverage limits, sometimes up to $4 million. And broader benefits like replacement costs for your contents and additional living expenses if you're displaced. For example, I had a customer in Nebraska whose private policy covered her hotel stay for 6 months while her home was being repaired, which took a huge financial and emotional burden off her family. Have you thought about what kind of coverage would give you the peace of mind you're looking for?
My property's flooded before. How could that impact me?
If your property has flooded before, it could impact you in a couple of ways. First, it might make it harder to get private flood insurance, as some companies may choose not to renew policies for properties with prior flood losses. Second, it could affect your premiums, especially if you're with the National Flood Insurance Program, since they consider past claims when determining rates. Have you had any trouble with your flood insurance since the flooding happened?
Yes. I'm having a hard time getting flood insurance now that my private flood insurance policy was non-renewed because of a claim. Can you tell me if there's a wait period with the National Flood Insurance Program if I need to switch?
Yes, there is typically a 30-day wait period with the National Flood Insurance Program unless you're buying the policy as part of a loan closing or if your property was recently mapped into a high-risk flood zone. During this wait period, coverage won't apply, so it's important to plan ahead to avoid any gaps in protection. Have you already started the process of switching over?
That's just an idea of what we're building over here at the Flood Insurance Guru. Always focused on improving the customer experience, always focused on improving our employee experience. This is just an audio version, but I'm working on building out a different video version that answers all these questions as well. And here's the thing, this content is all coming from me. It's all content I've produced. So this is an extension kind of my brain, but it gives my team access to different things. So this is how we potentially could use artificial intelligence to create a better customer experience. Look, I meet with insurance agents every day in marketing, and I tell them this: you've got to avoid the shiny tool syndrome, but what you do have to focus on are frameworks and solving problems. So if you got a problem in your agency, figure out what that problem is, then figure out a solution or a tool to solve that problem. Well, this is a big thing for us, as we get a lot of questions on our chat. This potentially can help answer a lot of those questions. We even potentially could redirect them over to different links we've built off of this data, especially once we get the interactive avatar ready. So I just want to give you an idea of what it is we're doing to push forward and really push the limits when it comes to customer experience. I hope everybody has a good Friday and a great Easter weekend.